do it like we do it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back and happy Friday. Okay, guys, so we have lots to talk about, lots to discuss. As always, I feel like this just does not stop. But I have Ashley from Taste of Reality, and we are going to be dropping some fun. It's going to be a big announcement. I think it's pretty big. I hope you guys enjoy it, but I'm going to wait until closer towards the end of the video to drop it. Now, if you guys want to guess, by all means, in the live chat, please. I'm open to hearing what you guys think it could be. But in the meantime, guys, pop off in the live chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Smash that like button. Show some love. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And let's welcome Ashley. Hello.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing so good. Do you want to hear the wildest shit?
Always.
Okay, so my stepdad yesterday found out that he has a 28-year-old daughter from Ancestry.
Okay.
And she starts going through my mom's social media and finds out, she was like trying to see who my mom's kids were. She's a subscriber of Up and Adam.
I'm
like,
dying. Hi. Family members in the Adams family, non-family members in the Adams family, here for you all.
I said to my mom, I said, what are the chances of that? That's like the most odd, funniest thing, that just because, you know, like it's so weird. I think that we forget, like even walking through grocery stores and stuff like this, even these little communities that you've built, that I built, that we're all building for like the love of Bravo. It's just, it really oddly connects you. It's weird.
All roads lead back to Bravo, and clearly great taste runs in the family that you guys are both Bravo babes.
We'll take it. But we have a lot to talk about, Ashley. I don't know where you want to start. Do you want to start with the OC of it all, Sarah Amadani's weird ass nanny? You want to talk about Salt Lake City, the trailer, Ariana Maddox's brother being arrested, or the NSFW video that came out from Brandi regarding Andy and Kate Chastain? I don't know where to start.
Okay, I'm going to suggest we start at Dubai, just because we wanted to talk about Dubai last week. We didn't get to it, and that's a shame, because Dubai is a 5-star franchise, and if you're not watching it, you are missing out.
Yes.
That's on you for missing out. Nobody else. I jumped in season 2. I didn't watch season 1, but I was like, you know what? I've got the time. I'm going to watch season 2. Jump in. I will eventually go back and rewatch season 1. Jump in. It's not too late.
Just jump in. Guys, if you haven't seen it, Sarah Amadani, who is absolutely stunning. She is so gorgeous. I love her. I always have the best time with Sarah. And she's an incredibly intelligent woman. She had her nanny / housekeeper, I guess, from what I gathered on the show, her nanny / housekeeper was waiting for her and her son to leave the house, covering up the cameras, bringing in different men, getting drunk with them, doing whatever she was doing with them. And then in her WhatsApp conversations, the men were asking her, what time does Sarah get home? What time does she leave? Can you send us a photo of her son? Wow, her son is so beautiful. What time does he get home? What time does he leave? And then Sarah noticed that her nanny / housekeeper was also stealing her underwear, some jewelry, things that belonged to Sarah were in her room. And finally, Sarah ended up going to the police. I think she went to the police 3 separate times now at this point, and probably more after this episode aired. And I don't even know how this is playing out. I should message her and ask her, but actually I'm going to message her while we're talking. It was just wild to me. So now Sarah automatically assumed that they were doing this in an effort to kidnap her son for ransom.
First thing that popped in my true crime loving mind. I mean, I've seen this story told a bajillion times before on Dateline, on the latest Netflix documentary. Like, it is not uncommon. And for any murderinos here, anybody who is a true crime aficionado like me, in the wise words of Karen and Georgia from the oh my God, my favorite murder podcast, they say F politeness. Not saying going around town and being mean, but if you get a bad vibe from somebody, you don't need to stay in the situation. If you're like uncomfortable, get yourself out, trust your instinct. And I'm glad that Sarah went ahead and pressed charges against not only the creepers, but the maid. Like, this needs to stop.
I mean, this is actually, why wouldn't she press charges though, right?
And I was watching the episode and she was like, if I don't press charges, this could happen again. And I'm like, yes, you feel for people who work for you, you get relationships, but obviously whatever relationship you had with this woman was based on something that's not okay to have in your home. So cut ties.
You know what's so terrifying to me is that I have cameras all over my home. And it's only because I'm super, super paranoid. And I also watch all of these shows. And I want to know if I'm not home, like I can check into my app and I can see inside my house. I can see outside my house. But I also don't trust really anybody in my house. I even have people who come in because Jason and I are constantly going. And it's not like I have like a house cleaner or anything like that, you guys. It's just every 2 weeks. It's like a deep clean that we're not going to end up doing. But I have cameras on that too, because it just really makes me so nervous. I have my animals in the house, and that's just anybody. And it's not a fun way to live when you're always looking at everybody sideways and thinking that they're capable of something. But this just goes to prove Sarah Al-Madani is a very smart woman. And for her to let this woman inside of her home, she trusted her with her son.
I mean, honestly, that just, and seeing how young the son is, like at any age, it's disgusting, but people are just, people are trash. That lady is trash. Those men are trash.
Yeah. It even goes back to a lot of people were talking about, I don't know if you saw this, Ashley, but like, let me go ahead and put the tags in here too. But if you guys didn't see it, in Florida, they had a big bust. I believe it was at Disney. Because there were these little rooms where people were walking up to kids who were getting, I guess, separated from their parents. And they're like, oh my God, let me help you. And taking them through these back tunnels. And then they busted this whole ring of people stealing other people's children, which you just don't know. It's terrifying.
That's at the happiest place on earth. Like, your guard has to constantly be up. Like, PSA, watch your back.
Yeah. And when Lisa Milan said, oh my God, she's in prison, like jail here, like, and they said, yeah, she committed a crime. Like, what else do you think is going to happen? And I think Lisa was looking at it like, I could never imagine being in jail here, but then don't commit a crime. And that's that crime, like Sarah Al-Madani said, it would look really bad on Sarah not to take her to task for doing what she tried to do, because like she said in the episode, there is no other reason for the men to be asking about her son, what time he comes home, if he's ever home alone, when, unless you were planning on kidnapping her son for ransom.
Nope. There was everything that happened was for a plan. It was dirty. It was nefarious. And thank goodness nothing happened. Thank God it ended before something actually happened. It made me really uncomfortable seeing that little boy in the having that conversation with his mom. I was like, and I don't have a kid. But I was just like, put that kid in another room, Like, it was so scary as a grown ass adult to hear. I was like, oh my God, that poor kid. Like, I hope he doesn't have tons of nightmares and whatnot.
Oh, I mean, again, and I love Sarah, but like it's not something on her as a mom, like where she messed up. It's like for her talking about it in front of her son. Unfortunately, it's like one of those times where your kid grows up super fast and you don't want that. You want them to like live in La La Land forever, where they believe in like the fantasy figures, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, maybe Santa, depending on what your religion is. It just like, you want them to be in that little innocent stage forever.
You're right. And I didn't mean to like sound shady, like I was shading her at all. But the thing is, the kid needs to know, because like this is why we tell children, you're wearing your bathing suit. If there's ever an adult that wants to see what's under your bathing suit, you need to tell mommy and daddy, because that something is wrong. Like kids need to be aware of these things so they know they should be reporting things, so they know that they have a voice and need to activate for themselves. I'm blanking on the word, but like they need to speak up for themselves. So yeah, he needs to know that if something's wrong, we tell mommy.
Yeah. No, and I even when I was little, I was coming off the bus stop and I used to walk in elementary school probably about a third of a mile on the way home. And there was one time where like the standard, legitimately, guys, I'm not making this up, the standard like white van pulled up. It was coming behind me really, 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 really slow. And it was just like coasting behind me. And then the guy was like, hey, do you know which way, blah, 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 like trying to get me to go talk to the van, like to the window. And I ran to my house so fast. And I remember telling my grandmother, like, oh my God, you don't, like, this just happened. And she's like, Adam, I'm sure it was nothing, somebody being nice. And now I look back and I'm like, if my kid came home and told me that, sorry, grandma, she's not here anymore. And it's not my real
love
grandma.
You, grandma.
It's somebody else's grandma, but we still love you, grandma. She was Scottish and whatnot, but may you rest in peace. She was not buying the shit that I was selling. And I think it's important to listen to people.
Yes. Kids are not stupid. Kids are very intelligent little people, and we need to listen to them. If something's wrong, if they call something out, there's something probably, if there's smoke, there's fire.
If there's smoke, there's fire. Okay. Well, guys.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
please. I had a fun transition idea, but if there was anything you wanted to say before the transition.
Oh my God. Transition away.
Okay. So since you mentioned, we're going to send this woman to a Dubai prison, like don't do the crime. Can we talk about the Vanderpump Rules of it all and the Jeremy Maddox? Like, what the heck? First of all, 76 pounds in his suitcases of marijuana. You see the headline and it's like arrested for marijuana. Like, really? Who gets arrested for marijuana in 2024? If you're trying to get 100 pounds of it from America to Europe, like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, really, Jeremy, come on.
I mean, guys.
We're judging.
And I know Jeremy. This is about as stupid as it gets.
Who travels with that much weed anywhere on a plane, let alone leaving the country? Are you insane?
This is so dumb, you guys. I even said this. This is the dumbest shit. The dumbest. When I went one time, I had somebody ask me in Florida when I was coming to visit family, hey, can you go to the dispensary in California and can you bring anything back? I went to the dispensary and I asked them, because in California, if you're 18, you can just walk in, like you don't need a card anymore. And I asked them and they said, well, you can get through like the airport security in California. It's just about to like where you're going. And I told the person, I was like, absolutely not. Like, I am not walking through an airport, getting to Florida and getting arrested. This is not happening. And they were so offended by it and annoyed. And they're like, you can get away with it. Don't be like a little punk, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to jail for you. Are you gonna go and volunteer your time if I get arrested and say, no, actually, Judge, it was me? You're not. So I'm not going to jail for your ass.
Yeah. Did these people not watch Broke Down Palace starring Claire Danes and Kate Beckinsale? Like there was this movie that came out in the 90s, very brief synopsis. They like lied to their parents and went to Thailand for graduation rather than wherever. Some guy like was like, here, hold my bag. And they ended up going to Thai prison. They signed things because they thought somebody was being honest and translating, and it was a lie. Don't go to prison in America, but really don't do anything across the country or outside of the country. Like, be smart. Don't be dumb.
Don't be an idiot. And not only that, you guys, like, just to kind of double down on all of this, it's like the fact that so collectively, him and his friend Jonah, they had, that's where the 100 pounds came from. I believe he had 76 pounds, you said?
Right. Yeah,
And then
Jonah had 24, I think. Yeah.
24. So now at this point, Jeremy Maddox was arrested on federal trafficking charges. So, which obviously you're trying to fly internationally to Germany with this. And he's lucky he didn't get arrested in Germany. He's very lucky.
He's so lucky that he was caught in Florida, not Germany.
Yeah. So from that point, they ended up arresting him. He got out on an $80,000 bond. Ariana's mom and a few of his friends ended up writing letters talking about his good character and how he is a good person and that this was a bad judgment call. So he got out on an $80,000 bond, ended up getting released, going back to California so he could work and do whatever he has to do. But eventually he is going to have to get sentenced for this crime. And he's potentially facing up to a $200,000 restitution and 30 years in prison. Now, I always like to say this because I had Emily D. Baker on for so many, I guess.
Love her.
Yeah, so many lives. I love her too. They don't normally, especially when it's a first-time offender, get that full extent. However, there are so many people, and I said this when I did the video, there are many people out there who are serving more time in prison right now for having X amount of marijuana or whatever it is, as opposed to somebody who actually physically hurt somebody, invaded their space, took advantage of them. Like sometimes, depending on where you're at, these charges can not only stick, but they can ruin the rest of your life. Like you can be sitting your ass in there and waiting on your commissary for the next 20 years. If I had to guess, he's getting at least 5. If I had to guess.
Again, I'm no Emily D. Baker. I wish I had a law degree under my belt, but I don't. I don't think there's going to be a way where he doesn't serve time. It'll probably end up being several months, a couple years maybe, but I don't see a world where we're going to let him get away with that. Like, that's crazy.
No, I completely agree with you. I think that it's wild, actually. Oof. And it's kind of crazy to think that the mom is looking back and she has one daughter who's on top of the world. She's watching her on Love Island. She's on Chicago. She just did Dancing with the Stars. She's on an Emmy-nominated show. And then she has her son who is getting pulled in by airport security for 76 pounds. Do you guys know what 76 pounds of marijuana? Can I just tell you really quick, as somebody, again, who lived in California, if you buy 1 ounce of this stuff, it is in a baggie this big, okay? This big. So that's 1 ounce. There's 16 ounces in a pound, right? I got that?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. 16 ounces in a pound. So 76 times 16, that's how many of those bags? So that would be 1,216 of those bags like this and condensed probably like this, but still little blocks. 76 fucking pounds?
And to go to Europe, like, I have to know how everything works. I looked, you can ride a train from Germany to Amsterdam. The train is like 5 hours and 25 minutes. If you're going to Germany, just take a little day trip, go stock up in Amsterdam and go back. Like, there is marijuana legally to be obtained in Europe. He obviously was going to sell it. Like, obviously he's not doing anything but going to make money off of it. Like,
but even going to sell it, like, don't they have some of the best? I mean, that's what I've heard. I don't know. I've never been, by the way, guys, I've not been to Germany. I've not been to Amsterdam. I don't know.
From what I understand, California weed is the best weed in the world. How do I know that? Because Justin Bieber sang about it.
There you go. I see where people are saying, how do you know, Adam? And I'm like, because I'm not going to lie. I've been to a dispensary. I know what guys.
Come on. It's 2024. We all know what weed looks like. We know what weed smells like. We know what weed tastes like. Come on.
What she said.
Yes.
But I'm waiting to see if Ariana Maddox, did you hear any news of whether or not she ended up writing a letter as well?
I don't know that she did.
I'm going to go with she's probably not going to.
I wouldn't want my good name because that would be leaked.
Yeah. Well, and he recently trashed her and said that he had to separate her from her because his fiance, who's in this photo, I don't know her name, but he said that Ariana was very dismissive and rude to his fiance and that it was affecting his relationship. He also decided to become buddy-buddy again with Tom Sandoval. he also did press saying that Ariana, like, if she doesn't talk to him, that things are going to come out. And it was sort of like a backhanded threat towards Ariana. And now all of a sudden he probably needs Ariana. And sure, you know, like the little things that they compared to what she could do right now to potentially help him. I don't know. But then I also look at it from the perspective of a lot of reality TV stars. They claim, like Teresa Giudice and Jen Shaw, they claim that because there's more of a microscope on them being in the public eye, and I know that he was never a full-time cast member, but people know who he is. It's still making major media, that they do get harsher sentences because it's setting a tone for people who in the future want to potentially commit these crimes.
Yeah. If you're thinking about trafficking 100 pounds of marijuana, think of Jeremy Maddox first. I mean, literally, is that like, are him and his friend Cheech and Chong? Like, that's so much. I was like, imagine the car ride on the way to that airport. I mean, it must have stunk no matter how well you vacuum sealed that. Imagine what that car smelled like.
Also, when you're stuffing all of this marijuana into these bags and you're vacuum sealing, and you got over 100 pounds, which is going to take quite some time for you to get all of this vacuum sealed. Is there no reasoning in there thinking like, is this really fucking worth it?
Right.
Is it worth it? I mean, I get, like, is the risk worth the reward? My dad always told me my whole life growing up, if you're going to be dumb, you better be tough. And
I'm not tough, so I can't afford to be dumb. Like, I would never make it in prison. So therefore, I am riding the line of safety and responsibility.
I would literally rip out like my teeth covers, and I would look like a little baby shark, and I'd be like, get off of me. I'm crazy. Yeah. Back the fuck up. Like that.
I think I would have to play like, yeah, I would have to do that in prison just so people would stay away from me. I would not last a minute.
No, that's really sad.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay.
Listen, Jeremy Maddox, I know you're not a bad dude, and I'm sending you the best, and I hope this works out for you. I don't know, and people do fuck up and make mistakes. Do I think you need to be in prison for 30 years? Absolutely not. But if this is not a learning curve to change your life, I don't know what else would be.
Yeah, this I would hope is an all-time low. Like, let's hope that this is rock bottom.
This, speaking, by the way, segue of rock bottom. Guys, I don't know if you saw this, but if you didn't, we're going to play it. Thank you to Good Tea with Sam. Here we go.
Oof.
We have something to tell you. We're tonight. And we're going to talk about you the whole time.
So it's like a threesome.
So it's kind of like a threesome. Actually, if you're around in like 90 minutes or 2 hours, do you want to watch us on FaceTime?
Can you get here?
Would you be cool with that?
Yeah, FaceTime.
Yeah, okay.
Wi-Fi, strong Wi-Fi.
Yeah, strong Wi-Fi.
Here's Wi-Fi strong.
Love you, Brandi.
Love you. Bye.
And then this one. So Andy ended up messaging Brandi saying, kind of hoping you and my stage manager hooked up. And she said, I think he wants you. He said, I really wanted you and Austin to get together. He had his eyes on you. She said, he's already DM'd me like 4 times, Shep too, but Austin had a girl with him. I'm going to Charleston for sure. And I don't even like blondes. We need more male options. Now, there were a few more messages than that, but I wanted to kind of pick your brain on this because Brandi is obviously not the most innocent person. Like, if you saw this and you thought about like a housewife, like if we thought about like, I don't know, KG on OC getting messages like this, then you'd be like, never. Or like our sweet Garcelle getting messages like this, like never.
Right.
Or I don't know who the hell
Andy
else.
would not have sent that to Fancy Pants. Let's just say that.
Heather Dubrow. Yeah, like absolutely, of course, totally inappropriate. It was definitely inappropriate. And I'm not bashing Andy Cohen. I'm just saying absolutely it's inappropriate, right?
No, it's wrong, period.
But then Brandi Glanville saying that she now feels like she was treated like his sex toy, I think she said.
Sex worker.
Oif. Even worse, not worker, wife. So with her saying that, now fans are really, really divided because some people are calling for Andy Cohen to be held accountable and be fired from Bravo over this. Other fans are saying to Brandi, do you know how many inappropriate things you have done across the path, like along the way? Do you understand? Like when I was at BravoCon, Brandi told me when we met in the Sprinter van, ended up getting back to the top of the hotel wherever everybody was staying. I forgot what it was. And we were sitting there and she goes, you have untrustworthy eyes. And I was like, girl, you're looking at like 4 of me right now. You don't even see my eyes. So shut up. But then she ended up like, I think she was making out with some guy. I don't know. But she's very... You know?
I see that.
That also does not allow people to violate you or your personal space. So that's where the fans are divided. Where are you at right now?
I think the only reason there's division is because of Brandi's track record of her behavior, because under no circumstance is what Andy did right or okay. Period. Point blank. He is a person in power. He is her superior. She is the subordinate. That is the end of the story. But with the fact that she's reacted, you know, she responded to that saying she has the magic PUSSY, her magic kitty cat. She was talking about, you know, did she play it along? And therefore, I feel like this is a really unreliable narrator. And again, if this happened with Fancy Pants, if this happened with majority of the other housewives that don't get like naked wasted like this, like it would be, I think it would look much worse for Andy, but he apologized. She didn't take it as an apology, but I don't believe in just firing everybody. It was obviously a joke.
Right.
It doesn't make it okay, but it was obviously a joke.
Right. And also, you know, that goes back to right now. I think the irony in this is that Brandi right now is being investigated and also sued for this behavior times 10 is what she's being accused of. Like actually physically violating somebody, touching their areas that should not be touched, shoving herself onto somebody, holding them down. These are the accusations, not saying that they're true, but that's sort of the irony in all of this is that she is claiming to be a victim of this, where she says that there are multiple other conversations that she has not shared. And this is how she was made to feel, like she was this worker of that variety. And then all of a sudden you go over and she also feels like she was rewarded for this behavior. And so that's why she exhibited it herself towards other people or talent. It's very confusing.
Well, it is, because they're in the world of wanting to make good TV. They want to keep their paychecks coming, but at the same time, there are laws and there's right and wrong, and those lines get very blurred. It's wild to me that of all people, Brandi is the one saying this because of her track record, but she didn't deserve it. Like I like you said, I don't even know if at the time she really felt that uncomfortable or if she's just turning this around because she knows she's in a legal shitstorm.
Right. Well, and also I kind of looked at it, and guys, I don't want to like get obliterated here, but I kind of viewed it a little bit as like, she knows she's never going to be invited back to NBC. She knows she's never going to be back on Bravo. And she really probably has no idea what she's going to do for work, how she's going to survive, unless she got married again or something. And, you know, she's kind of like in that, she's sort of like in that Janice Dickinson realm. And I love Janice. We're friends with Janice.
I love me some Janice Dickinson. She is wild.
Can I tell you a funny story really quick?
Oh my God, always.
The first time I met her, I fangirled. It was at our friend Joey's house. Joey, ironically, is best friends with Dolores. It was me, Jason, his sister. We flew in from New York. We're visiting LA. We were looking at places because we were going to move back. We went to our friend's dinner party. And I walked up to her and I said, hi, nice to meet you. And I said, can I get you a drink? And she's like, I don't fucking drink. Are you kidding me? I'm sober. Like, really? Really? And I was like, oh my God, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. So then I end up going into the kitchen and I see a freezer door open and I see like this little body inside the freezer door. And I go around the freezer door and it's her chugging tequila. And I was like, I thought you said that you didn't, like an asshole. Like, of course, I just call it out. And I was like, I thought you said you didn't drink. And she goes, shut up. Come here. Come here. And it was two of my friends. And she like huddles us around and she goes, nobody goes against the bitch flock. You all are now a part of the sacred bitch flock. You don't go against the flock, right? And she's like, shh, you didn't see anything. And I'm like, this bitch is crazy.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
Oh my God. A great story.
It was funny. It's something that I need to write these stories down.
You should.
Yeah.
I see an audiobook in your future.
Oh shit. Okay. Great.
Yes.
But
because you don't have enough on your plate already.
Yeah. Right. But you know, like going back to it with her and Brandi Glanville, I feel like there were a lot of times where she was rewarded for this behavior. I feel like there's, you know, then you get to a point where you've done so many crazy things on TV and then you sort of get this reputation. And then by the time the TV is over, you're not really going to land yourself somebody normal because they can see your footprint on the internet, which is just insanity. And then it's really hard for you to go on and live a normal life after that. Then you end up doing weird shit to your body, to your face. You start distorting things. You're trying to get more attention. You're trying to get on like the worst reality shows. That's like, you know, like My Mom and I Don't Get Along Celebrity Edition. And it's like, you Heidi Montag the shit out of yourself. It's like, you know.
It's absolutely true. I mean, I wish Brandi well, of course, but I worry about her mentally. I worry about her physical health. She's had a lot of issues. You can tell that all of this has taken a toll on her. And unfortunately, her track record is going to be, well, we even saw the way, first of all, she was rewarded so many times. She was on 2 Ultimate Girls trips. She was on the Traders. We didn't see one of those Ultimate Girls trips, but like she has gotten the spinoffs. Like she has been rewarded for the behavior. So in her mind, she's like, no, this is what I do to deliver. I felt so bad for Marcos, the butler at Bluestone Manor. She was drinking and like pulled his shirt off. And like, you could tell he like felt violated because, well, he was violated.
And that's like one of many instances where NBC and Bravo is going to turn around and mirror what she is saying and accusing them of and accusing Andy of and be like, what is this behavior? So if anything, it's just going to be thrown out and then they're going to have to figure out some sort of situation with Andy, but I think he'll be protected. I'm not sure though. You never know because it depends what the outrage is from the fans. If the fans end up really collectively coming together and calling for Andy Cohen to be removed, that is like, nobody is ever too big. You know what I mean? Right. People can be taken off of the throne. We've seen it time and time again. And that does happen. But now moving over, guys, with over 500 in the room. And I think that this is probably a great place to get into because we got the Salt Lake City trailer. Let's just bring up the promo. Okay. This is the photo, the shot. The ladies look incredible. Initial thoughts right out of the gate.
The aesthetic, stunning. Color palette, stunning. The dresses are eating. The ladies are serving. I love me some Queen Heather Gay up front. I'm excited to get the new Housewives in the mix, the friends of. Mary's back. This is controversial. People love or hate Mary. I know she's problematic, but boy, she makes me laugh. She just is so ridiculously out of touch. And I say that as a compliment. I love to watch it. I am here. I am ready. And that's it. That's for me. How about you? Are you dying?
Okay.
Are you shaking? Are you physically shaking?
So Mary Cosby, I actually love her on the show because she gives me Ramona vibes.
Yes.
In the sense that she's just like, do you really think I look inbred, Mary? I do.
Yeah.
And like, I pray that you get found guilty. I mean, innocent. It's like, you can't write the things that she says. And she's like, smells like hospital. Like, I'm sorry, then get a better diet. Your aunt lost her leg. Like, I'm like, these are things that are so terrible to say to people. You don't tell somebody they look inbred. You don't say that somebody deserved to lose their leg because they had a bad diet when you're sitting there in the Sprinter van eating McDonald's. Like, these are not things but she is compelling reality TV. So I'm excited to see her.
She was on Watch What Happens Live years ago, and I remember this because it made me laugh so much. Andy said, because she's Mary M. Cosby, and he goes, Mary, what does the M stand for? And she said, my middle name. Like, duh, of course, Mary M. Cosby. The M is for your middle name, honey. What's your middle name is the question. Like, how did she get my middle name? Like, that just made me laugh so hard. Like,
or like when she was telling Whitney's daughter, Bobby, that she's like, somebody from the church. She was driving around the mountain and all of a sudden she got ejected just like that and flew out of the car over the cliff. And then Bobby's like, is she okay? She's like, no, she's dead. But anyways, guys, I'll take some tea. It's like, what? No.
Love it.
I
love that Mary and Whitney are on the same team now. The fact that they're getting along is what I love to see in Housewives. We went from little girl to them actually having a friendship. I love to see it.
I mean, one thing that I'm not going to lie, you guys, and maybe I'm a little bit biased on this. I was really, really excited to meet Heather Gay. Did not have the best interaction with Heather Gay. I thought that she was going to be like the sweetest, coolest. That was not my experience. I think that she does great on reality TV. But one thing that I sort of got a little played out on when it came to Heather on the show was the book and more of the book and more of the book. And now we have the Good Time Girl book, which is like we're writing our storyline every season to promote. And I feel like by the end of Salt Lake City Housewives, we're going to have 4 books. And it's going to be like by the 4th book, but these are things that I never said before because I didn't have the strength to say them. And they're still going to continue to play out. And I'm like,
heard it here first.
Oi. Like, come on, Heather Gay. But then when I saw Bronwyn come in with her little heart-shaped fur thing, and she was just like, I don't give a shit. If you guys don't like me, you don't like me. If you do like me, great. We can be friends. Otherwise, like, what's up? I was like, oh, you could do good.
I'm here for Bronwyn. I mean, we have been cursed by a Bronwyn before in the Housewives universe, but I am all for second chances. It has nothing against the name. This Bronwyn is so exciting to me. I love a woman who is comfortable in her body, a person, a human. It doesn't matter if it's a woman or not, who's going to express themselves the way they want with fashion. I love fashion. I am a big believer in RuPaul's quote, we're all born naked and the rest is drag. And we're in our drag attire right now. We have chosen to present ourselves this way. And the fact that she's wearing like a half shirt, with like a bubble coat and like booty shorts, like, yes, this is what I want. This is the energy, the quirkiness, the zero F's given attitude I love. She's quirky. I'm so excited for her.
Well, and then I was listening to the trailer and I heard, you're recording us? And I'm like, who was the one recording? Which I automatically went to, I thought it was Whitney potentially recording people. I'm not sure, guys. So that's not you heard it here first. I don't actually know the answer to that. I was surprised to see a little bit of the drama between Meredith and Mary because Meredith has literally rode for Mary for so long and tried to get her to come back to the show, put herself into a position against all of the other women while defending her. And then you have Angie Katzenabas. When I met Angie at BravoCon, I walked up to her and I was at Tamara and Teddy's party. And I walked up to Angie and I don't even know who introduced who to who, but we started talking and I said, I have to tell you, and I hope that this is not offensive. Your first season, I thought you were sort of like a doormat for Jen Shah. Like you really kind of just fell in line. And then her second season, I was like, oh, you really came out into your own where you were just like giving people shit and like not taking shit from anybody. And you were standing your ground, which I thought was all right. Good. That's why I think Housewives should get 2 seasons. It's the first season. It's like trial and error. And the second season, it's like, now that you know what you know, let's see what you do with that information. Did you learn anything? Can you take it to task? So For Angie Casaneva's, I'm pretty much here for it. And then the Lisa Barlow and Whitney drama of it all. The only thing I do feel like I'm personally missing from this cast, and it's because, one, I can be biased, sure, because I had Monica at my birthday party. I know Monica now. I have a great relationship with Monica. I have a great relationship with a lot of the women. So it's not just Monica and I just hate everybody. That's not the case, guys. But I don't feel like it's necessarily totally fair that the women were able to come together and push somebody out and say, well, if you bring her back, we're all going to quit, because they wouldn't have quit. You know, you're not going to give up this kind of money. You're not going to give up the celebrity of it. If I were Bravo, I would have called their bluff and I would have been like, okay, well, let's see if you quit. The contracts are coming out. If you don't sign it, then we know we'll replace you. We have somebody else waiting in like the background. That's not what happened. Monica Garcia is not on this season. I don't know if there's any cameos or anything to be made. I guess that's going to be a TBD. But just watching it, I'm like looking, and I guess maybe one of the other reasons that I think about Monica on the show getting fired, and I understand the reality Bontis of it all, but then I look and I think about some of the other moments where like Portia Williams literally and Phaedra had those comments about Candy Burris's dungeon, and then she dragged Kenya's ass off of a reunion floor. Mm-hmm. Monique Samuels, Candace Dillard Bassett. Then I think about like what happened in New York, like throwing the shit across the table. And then I think about Jersey, how there have been some instances with like the hair pulling and the spot. Like there have been moments on a lot of these shows. And that's why even Kenya Moore right now feels like she shouldn't have been fired, because she's like, what did I do that was so different than what we've done before in the past? Mm-hmm. So I think that you just never really know what's going to work in your favor or what's not, you know? Mm-hmm. But
yeah, that's too bad for Monica, though. Like, as somebody who loved her last season, we wouldn't have had the season that we had last year, which was 5-star, hang it in the Louvre, perfection in reality TV. And that's because of Monica. And while I respect the fact that people have negative feelings towards her because of the account, I can understand both perspectives. Yeah. Could you imagine, to all the people, the Addams family listening, could you imagine going to work and just being like, yeah, I'm not going to work with that person because they hurt my feelings, because I don't like them? Like, the one person that I think might, in my opinion, have a valid reason, if there's still litigation going on between Heather and Monica, if there's like literally legal things that would maybe keep us apart. But if you're just mad at her because she did something you don't like, I'm sorry, film with her. She should have been on the show.
And that's kind of how I felt too, because I feel at the end of the day, it's like what you said, when you're in a work environment, a lot of us know, like, thankfully I work for myself, right? So I don't have to deal with people, and I don't always get along. Like when I was working at TomTom, I had like a little nickname over there. I was a tyrant because I liked things a certain way. I didn't deal with people's shit. I like did things that I wanted. I dealt with things in a way that I wanted to deal with them. And if anybody got in my way, I was going to run you over because you were messing with my money. Yeah. So, but I still had to show up. And I didn't like a lot of them. A lot of people, especially because Lisa Vanderpump hired a lot of people off of their lookbooks and not necessarily off of the talent or them having any real resume to work in hospitality. It was like, oh my God, meet Josh. Josh is so handsome. Oh, yes, Josh, you would make a great bartender, honey. Go on. And it was like, no. You know?
It's so true. Yeah, no, like I live in Vegas, same thing with LA. You cannot get a job if you're not attractive in the service industry. Like here they call them beverage models, cocktail models. Like server is not part of it. Model is the word.
Model is the word. All right. Well, Ashley's going to be dropping something later, but in the meantime, I wanted to give you guys, before we get into OC, a little promo of our announcement that's coming today. I already dropped it on my Instagram, but we will be dropping the first episode on Monday. Here we go.
Hey, Bravo lovers. This is Monica Garcia from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
And I'm Adam Newell from Up and Adam. Welcome to the Salty Podcast, where we spill all the latest Bravo gossip and dive deep behind the scenes.
From the drama in the Housewives world
to the juiciest headlines and entertainment, we've got you covered.
Each week, we'll break down the most shocking moments, share behind-the-scenes secrets, and give you our unfiltered opinions.
And trust us, things are about to get crazy.
We're bringing the heat, the tea, and all the shade, honey.
So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and join us for the Salty Podcast.
Subscribe now on your favorite podcast platform and make sure you don't miss a single episode.
Because when it comes to Bravo and pop culture, we're spilling it all.
Switch it.
All right, guys. Well, I see Damn Adam. Love this. Hope we can ask some questions. Absolutely. You can always ask questions and we will be taking them once we start the podcast. My God, Ashley, what do you think?
I am so happy for you. I am so happy for us as audience members. I know you because I listened to your show and that's how we became friends. I, as a friend, am so happy for you. As an audience member, I'm so happy for us. And as a fan of Monica, that doesn't take away from the fact that I love Meredith. I love Lisa, all of them. It is a perfect cast. I am a fan of everybody. That doesn't take away that I want to hear Monica's side of the story.
Boom. Okay, guys. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. But now with that, again, definitely we are dropping the first episode on Monday. So you guys will get to listen to that. That's going to be podcast only. But with that, I kind of wanted to get into this a little bit before we end up wrapping this up. The Alexis Bellino and Shannon Bedore of it all, Ashley. So we found out in last night's episode that the footage that Alexis Bellino was alluding to that Johnny J has on his ring is of Shannon Bedore almost drunkenly running over his daughter the night of her DUI. That's not good.
I mean, we knew it was going to be bad, but that's like as bad as it gets. Like, and this is just perfect time to remember that we never drink and drive. Under no circumstance is it ever a good idea. This isn't to shame Shannon. This is just a reminder that like this could happen to anybody at any time. And thank God nobody was hurt. Thank God Shannon's okay. Thank God Johnny J's daughter's fine. Archie's okay. It's a lesson learned, but it can't happen again. It can't happen.
It can't happen. But then watching the episode 2 and seeing how, like, seeing last night's episode and how Alexis got so heated over the conversation with John and she's crying and like, it's like one of those, you can tell that they're conspiring behind the scenes. He is coaching her. I completely agree with that. And she's so invested and she's going into every single scene thinking, I'm going to win. I got this, Johnny J. I am your Marine on the front lines who is going to go in and take this bitch out. And Shannon, every time Alexis tries to land the plane, it's not landing because the fans have a lot of sympathy for Shannon. And I think they have a lot of sympathy for her because, one, she's owning what she did, but then it sort of gets balanced out a little bit because she's still drinking. So fans aren't understanding that. But then anybody, I think, can relate to either having a friend, a family member, or somebody in their life, past or present, that could potentially be dealing with the same struggles. And when you see somebody struggling, the last thing that you do is continue to just like stomp on their face while they're laying on the ground. Like, you don't just keep saying like, you're a fucking alcoholic, you're a piece of shit. Is that before or after you have a drink? Get some fucking help. Go to rehab. What's wrong with you? And it's like, this woman's already hit the lowest of the low. Her family's going to see this. Her kids are going to see it. Her, like, you know, her kids are in college. Their friends are going to see it. And you're just completely ripping apart this woman who you claimed at one point was a friend. It's not a good look.
No. You know, I have to say, yesterday watching Orange County when they were at Mozambique, the restaurant, it made me feel like the Lala and Ariana kind of comparison. Like, I feel like Tamra was so hard on Shannon that it literally took Shannon breaking down and crying for her to stop, like, just pounding at her and being awful to her. And I felt like that on Vanderpump Rules. Like they were so hard on Ariana. They wanted her to show up with Tom, this, that, and the other. And finally, the second that she got some empathy from Sheena and Lala was after she broke down. Like we shouldn't have to push these women to their emotional breaking point to get what we need from this situation. Like Shannon should never have had to be in that situation. She did something wrong. Period. She's not saying she didn't. Like everybody knows that what she did was not okay.
Right.
But
and
that's not helping.
I agree with JJ and Zach's mama. Why is she crying on the floor after only dating for 2 months? Like Alexis Bellino, you guys, is just annoying the hell out of me on this season. I find her to be incredibly annoying because I don't feel like we're getting to know Alexis. I feel like we're getting to know John Jansen's piece. I feel like this was an opportunity for her, a huge opportunity. She could have come in, and if she would have been classy, then she would have come in a way where she would have tried to forge relationships with the women, get to know the women, and even get to know maybe potentially Shannon's side of it. And as an independent person going into a relationship, being able to say, listen, I understand that you have your own squabbles with her, and I get that you guys have this, but I'm going to be in the same friend group. And this is not my experience with her. Even though I love you, I support whatever you're going to do. It's not my experience, so I'm going to gracefully bow out.
It's not hard. I mean, it just takes an emotionally mature person to do something like that. And that's not always what we're dealing with, especially with Tamra Judge. I know you love Tamra, and I agree she makes great television, but
I don't agree with a lot of things that she does.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like Imani and I, we're not blind stands. Like we love Ariana, but that doesn't mean she's perfect. Like that doesn't mean we're never going to disagree with something she said. Like I don't always love Tamra, but she makes a great housewife. Like we wouldn't have a show like without people like her keeping it going.
Right. Oif. And last but not least, before we end up telling everybody where they can find you, question. What are your thoughts about Emily's behavior this season?
I feel like she's been hanging around Tamra a lot, and the Tammy Sue is rubbing off on her. I don't love it. I don't like seeing her and Gina fight. That is not a happy place for me. I love their friendship, and all friendships have ups and downs. I don't love seeing that their up and down is over Tamra's role in Emily's life. I don't know. I feel like, and I can say this as somebody who used to be heavy and lost weight, like I'm a little bit meaner as a person because I feel like feeling myself and I kind of turn into a dick. No. And maybe Emily's feeling herself a little too much and she's kind of acting like a dick, but I think she's kind of being a dick this season. I miss the days of eating sandwiches in the hot tub or in the steam room. Like that was the Emily I loved. I still like Emily. I'm not going to hold anything against her, but I don't think she's being her true authentic self unless her true authentic self is changing in a way that I don't really care for.
I couldn't agree more. Well, Ashley, if they don't know, well, you let them know. And as always, this has been the best time. And I really appreciate the hell out of you. I'm going to start with your Instagram. That way people can find you.
Oh my gosh, check our Instagram. We keep it popping. We had Ariana and Katie in our comments the other day. We have so much fun on the Instagram. Imani pretty much runs that one. We also have the website. Oh, yeah, we have Brits up there. Imani and I actually went to Jax's a week or two ago, and there's actually a Jax's review. Spoiler alert, it's not good. But yeah, we love the shade at Brittany posting Brits yesterday instead of Jax's. We love it. The website, Taste of Reality, Imani and I both write for. We are Bravo girlies, so a lot of the content is Bravo, but we love other things. We want to make sure that all ground is covered. We have live discussion posts on the website, so kind of like acting like a Reddit thread almost. So you can go, for instance, last night was Orange County. Just go to Taste of Reality. There's a discussion post. Go down to the comments. We have the most fun people in the comments. They call themselves a lot of things. The Tasties, the connoisseurs. Taste buds is my personal favorite, but they like truly make it nice. They're so cool to each other, but we like to drag the talent on the shows for, you know, the trash that they sometimes give us. But it's a very lovely community, so everybody should come and join.
We love it. And guys, before we end up going, make sure that you go follow Ashley and Amani on their Instagram, Taste of Reality, and go to tasteofreality.com. I'm going to play the promo one last time for you, and then I'm going to tell you where you can find all of the information. So for those of you guys who were not here midway through, one last time, here we go.
Hey, Bravo lovers. This is Monica Garcia from The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
And I'm Adam Newell from Up and Adam. Welcome to the Salty Podcast, where we spill all the latest Bravo gossip and dive deep behind the scenes.
From the drama in the Housewives world
to the juiciest headlines and entertainment, we've got you covered.
Each week, we'll break down the most shocking moments, share behind-the-scenes secrets, and give you our unfiltered opinions.
And trust us, things are about to get crazy.
We're bringing the heat, the tea, and all the shade, honey.
So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and join us for the Salty Podcast.
Subscribe now on your favorite podcast platform and make sure you don't miss a single episode.
Because when it comes to Bravo and pop culture, we're spilling it all.
Switch it.
Oh, just kidding.
Oh. You again.
Okay, guys, make sure you go follow Ashley. She is going to be letting you guys know what we're looking forward to in this podcast exclusively on tasteofreality.com. In the meantime, happy Friday, everyone. If you guys are in college, I see where everybody's going back to school. So enjoy. My gosh, I don't miss those days, but I'm loving them for you guys. And just have a great weekend. Don't drink and drive. Don't do silly shit. Don't take 100 pounds of anything to any airport. Just do normal things and make it to Monday. That way we can reset and kind of do this all over again. But with that, Ashley, thank you so much. We love you and we'll see you.
I love you. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course. Bye, guys.
Bye, friends.
Smash the like button.